address this issue.
Ugandan representative to the East African Legislative Assembly, Jacqueline Amongin, is giving another shot at the enactment of anti-female genital mutilation law.
A lot of members from the East African region have petitioned the East African Parliament to have this bill tabled, and will not be able to allow such an act to continue happening in the different parts of the region.
It is 8 years since an attempt was made to enact the law through a similar bill that was moved in the third Iyala by Dora Byamukama, another Ugandan representative.
We passed the law in March 2017. The Assembly overwhelmingly passed the law, and we did not get any feedback as to why it was not assented to. We were also not able to follow up because our term lapsed.
It turns out that the requirement in the previous bill to have a unit to oversee the implementation established stood in the way of its being signed.
Some of the issues were, how do you just put up an office only for CFGM, yet there are other SRHR issues, teenage pregnancies, SGBV in other forms. So that was one of the issues that were contested.
There are concerns that the new bill could even come under tough opposition, given the fact that the community has expanded to 8 states from 5 in 2016, with the addition of South Sudan, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Somalia. Available statistics point at Somalia for having over 90% FGM prevalence rate, the highest in the region.
The coming in of Somalia, and as you said, 90% of this is practiced in Somalia, is of course a fresh challenge. There are so many pieces of legislation that may require recalibration, because as we expand the community, the context changes, the priorities also keep on changing.
Weaker laws and reluctance by some of the East African community states to strictly prohibit acts of FGM are blamed for providing a fertile ground for its conduct across the borders.
To ensure that this time around, we try to analyze what were the gaps, which countries did not assent to, and it's all about the issue of resistance to cultural change, customs, cultures, issues of political will and commitment.
Opponents of the practice say the free movement of people within the region allows perpetrators to practice in the least expected places.
It is practiced by the Proponents of Uganda and the Proponents of Kenya. It is practiced by the Sebinyi of Uganda and the Sabawoto of Kenya.
We have to go to the communities, speak with the elders, train them, educate them, so as to touch a very important part of the practice, which is the culture.
Genital mutilation and modification such as elongation is deemed an act of torture and abuse of the rights of the girl child. FGM has the potential of causing death, and where those who are exposed to it survive, they could end with long-term health complications like childbirth, obstetric fistula, and sexual health problems.
FGM is actually of no benefit other than creating pain, but also it has adverse effects on the health of the women and girls.
Available data shows FGM is practiced in all the 8 partner states except 2, that is Rwanda and Burundi. Uganda has one of the lowest cases of FGM with a 0.2% prevalence rate, Tanzania 10%, Kenya 21%, and Somalia with over 90%, one of the highest in the world. Jackson Onyango, NTV.